So we're going to get into the last one of the night, which is a 17 Maisara Caverns. We did finish it. We timed it. This got me my 17 resilient today. It was a 15, and I bumped it all the way to a 17, so that's nice. Or actually, never mind. I think I did get a 16 done, like, yesterday, possibly. So I think it was a 16, but literally 2 days ago it was a 15. It's now a 17. We're 17 Resil. That was the only one I didn't have at 17 yet. It's just, dude, it's such a pain in the ass to get into groups. Just as a demon hunter, like, I'm trying to play a non-meta spec, just to show how good every class really is. Like, there shouldn't be a meta. I mean, there's always, I have a preferred group, not like of specific people, but of specific classes and specs that I like to have with me for specific dungeons. Like, I love having a shaman healer, and I love having a paladin, because that's 6% damage reduction for me. If I can fit a balanced druid in there too, that's an additional 1.5% damage reduction for me. And then also I get the mastery buff from the shaman, which gives me a little bit more armor, which is even more damage reduction. So I get, like, if I can make a proper party, I can provide myself with a lot more damage reduction. The paladin also provides 3% of that damage reduction to the entire party if he's keeping that blessing up, which usually he is, he or she. But yeah, the druid's versatility buff is a 1.5%. It's a 3% damage increase, 1.5% damage reduction. And then shaman healers, their earth shield on a tank reduces damage by an additional 3%. But this shaman, he's going to throw his earth shield on me, but it doesn't give me the 3% damage reduction. I just get the healing whenever I'm hit. Well, let's get into this one. I like to say, even though we time this, there's always ways to be better. You're always catching me rewatching these, well, not rewatching, but watching these for the first time. So hindsight is always 2020. Sometimes I remember things differently. And I'm sometimes at the start of a video, I'll call something out, and I'll be completely fucking wrong as we work through it. But that's why I like doing this, and I like reviewing it, and I hope people like watching me review my dungeons, because at the end of the day, we can all get a little bit better. We can all learn something from our runs, why we failed, what we could have done better. Or sometimes just to completely flame the group you went with because they completely wasted your time and threw your key. But hopefully that's not most of your keys. I don't think that's most of my keys at this level, at least anymore. It definitely is at 12s sometimes whenever I'm trying to just fill my vault with 12s. Or whenever I was farming Mythic Crests, I feel like people just fucking throw 12s. I don't understand. But it doesn't really happen up at 18s. I have a lot of failures, but it's not like where it's just like, holy shit, dude, your rating was 3,700. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't get a lot of that. I do on this dungeon sometimes. I can't tell you how many times I've done this where I have like 3,600 rated DPS, and we get to the first boss, and for whatever reason, the bird dies first, and we're not able to kill the fucking troll before he resurrects the fucking bird boss. And it's like, that right there is fucking minutes lost. And so it's just, it's usually over. That's a vote to abandon. This group gets it done. But here, I always struggle with this. If I get hit in the back here, luckily all their hits got off while they were still in front of me, so I was able to eat a lot of it, and I'm still up. I'm going to get real close to death here, though, with that heal absorb. I'm trying to gather as much as I can, and I realize I missed those 3 bears a little late, and I fuck up and cause them doing this. But yeah, I want them in the pool. I figured my boomerang would have hit them on my slide down. Boomerang went first and off. It hit one of those bears, which will usually wake up all 3. That was a mistake, though, because he got aggro so fast, and I didn't catch it. Just didn't catch it until he fucking died, and then I got in on it right here. My bad. sorry to that priest. What another thing is, well, this pull, that's 100% my bad. But sometimes it is, like if I glaive something and you see me moving towards another pack, that's going to be where I'm tanking it. Attack the pack that I'm walking towards, not the one that I glaive. Because you're going to get aggro on the pack that I glaive because they're walking into me. They're far away. I don't have many ranged abilities to generate a lot of threat other than that glaive. And that glaive only does like 700 damage to each target. Like, granted, it's a high threat ability. It's just, if you rip into a target that only my glaive hit, you're done. This is a big contention. My route is a big contention in a lot of groups. Everyone wants to go right. Everyone wants to go into the cabin and get the food buff. You don't need that, guys. Like, you're going to see my route. This group has great damage. This group has amazing damage. I couldn't ask for more. That first pull should have died faster, but it's my bad that the priest died. And honestly, we get to the first boss at about the same rate. A lot of your other teams that you see doing keys this high getting to the first boss that are taking the path on the right, but they're getting there with like 35, maybe up to 45% of trash. Whenever I get to the first boss, I've got 51% of trash, and it just keeps the rest of the shit smooth. Like when we get to the first boss, we use Lust on it, which I didn't want to use. I would have much rather used it on the mini boss, but we pull the mini boss room a little bit slower than I would have liked to, but whatever, we still time the key. Let's keep going. But yeah, this going to the left is a big point of contention for a lot of groups where I've gone this way and the group just immediately votes to abandon, or I've had somebody leave, or somebody immediately starts talking shit in chat, why are we going this way? And it's just like, brother, like, especially when it's my key and I'm the tank, it's like, we're doing my route. I try to fucking cave for other people's keys, but I usually never do this. This dungeon, when it is somebody else's key, I try not to join it, because I know they're not going to want to go this way, and I don't want to ruin their key if they're not used to this path. But this dungeon, specifically before I started the recording, I think, I gave a trash rundown. I basically gave them what packs I was going to be pulling where, what the priority interrupts were going to be, what avoidable damage was that would one-hit you, like this, or the red circles from the masks. But I only pulled, there's only ever one priority interrupt in any of my moves here, except for when we get down to the double hexer pull right past the mammoth there. That's different, but you have to pull those two together. But that's the only time that there's ever two priority interrupts, which is going to be hex 2 times. Shrink, I don't want to consider it a priority interrupt because you don't have to interrupt it. Like, any CC works, and it's such a long cast that doesn't do a lot of damage. You can break it halfway through the cast, and it's fine with no CC. So I don't really consider it a priority interrupt. Yes, get it, but save your interrupt for that. The birds here. These birds, whenever you pull 2 of them, the biggest thing is a melee group is great for this dungeon because they're always going to be here, and those birds aren't going to fly away. But you need to keep an eye whenever they do the talons right there. Just move. Move. If we can keep them in melee, awesome. If you have a Death Knight, immediately rip them back if they fully ranged person, or you can stun them. You know, but the best way to handle it is if the talons are here on top of melee, fucking stun them and immediately end the talon moving and activate. But if you don't have a CC up, you can just sidestep it real quick and you can continue to murder it down with trash. Here, we didn't get somebody to knock that out, so I'm gonna put over there. We've got 4 over here that we can get, but he's gonna get both of those. But we only needed 1 because we have those 2 and then these 2. Pull this, and then the way I like to do it is everything dies really quick except for the big mask here. And so that's another ability the mask does. He's going to target somebody with that laser beam, the magma beam. He's going to put a red arrow over your head. Just make sure no players are in line. That way you're the only one getting hit by it. Yeah, whenever I get to the mask, usually I'll pull these, but that mask just died fucking quick before I can walk it over here. So I'm going to silence them just to group them, but I'm going to save my interrupt just for whenever Hex comes out. And I'm going to wait for the first Hex because I know they're most likely going to die since we're the only 2, that we're only going to have to interrupt 1 Hex. There's 1. Gone. There's the other one, and then so I'm gonna get all of this mixed into the pool. I didn't get that targeting with the boomerang out I wanted to though. But yeah, we've got my hexers grouped on me now, so I'm gonna pull those in. Hexers are gonna die already. Down there should be another hex that goes out. I'm gonna get these masks in. See, those birds being way over there is a problem. Like, that's why everyone, like, if everyone was stacked up, those birds would have been out. And I could have Sigil of Misery. If I Sigil of Misery them over there, they would have been stuck over there. So you don't necessarily want to stun them if they're outside of the pack. Just let them do their talons. Either way, they're going to be stuck there if you stun them or not. But see, I got the stun right there for those talons. And this one, waiting for the birds. I'm going to get that interrupt. We're just going to finish this down. But so far, so good, man. Like they're doing incredible fucking damage. We are 7 minutes into this dungeon with the 1 death, and we've got 1 pull before the boss, and we've got a stupid amount of trash already done. And it's going to allow us to just move through the next bit quicker and easier with smaller pulls. So it's easier survivability. And so yeah, again, we're going to have to go back and get 1. They weren't aloof to that. So I had to go back and do it. Should have been the damage. And he's trying to do a skip. I don't want to skip. I want more trash. So we're gonna get this. And I don't know where we took that second death. Where did that happen? What was that? A hook snare. Is that what fucking killed him? Boom. I think he just took another axe while that was out. Yeah, he got speared while that was out. Okay. So that was our second death. Get this down without any deaths. We're gonna come in here. So yeah, that should have been, we should be over 24, like we should be at like 24.5 minutes, which is what, 8.5 minutes into the dungeon. So yeah, Lust is gonna be coming up on this boss, like, and they do use it here. I wish we would have saved it. we managed this boss very well. I think there was like one with during the second set of trash. One thing I don't like, so on this boss, it is so much easier, even if you're ranged, even the healer, stack and melee. Just stack and melee for this boss. And I'll tell you, as the abilities come out, I'll tell you why stacking and melee benefits us. So here's traps. Just gonna move them a little bit out. Everyone should be over here on me, but no. So, if everyone was here, that bird would be doing that right here. And what you do is, you sit on the edge of the big circle, and then you run into it after it goes, and nobody takes damage. They all still manage to do that very well, and then this ability, this cone, immediately goes out. So if we're all stacked, we all move to the edge of the circle when the bird does that. We all move back onto the bird after that circle pops to a safe area. Now this cone is going out. Even if all 5 of us are in that cone, it is such a fast sidestep to get out of it if you're in melee. But there will be so many times that I have groups where there will be 3 people out here and they're just not getting out of it, and one ends up dying because the healer just can't heal it. But as you can see, I think 4 people got hit. Is that the cone? Or maybe that's like a necrotic thing that happened before that. I don't think it is. Yeah, that's something different. But yeah. Yeah, so there, and then we're going to break the traps, and another set of traps is going to go out. And I think because of how close we are to the wall in here, and when the traps go out, yeah, this priest comes in and slows. And I don't think maybe it does jump back. And this is the scariest tick up where I'm like, oh fuck, this could be where we die. Because I hit that. Because that right there happened. And then I get very close to death there. But we ultimately made it out. And that particular stop. So you're going to see this next one here happens perfect because everyone's forced to be here now. And so the bird's going to do a circle and we're all going to be right here for it. And here it is. It's all easy. And we all go right back in. Cone should be going out. There it is. Everyone get out of it. Take them down. Easy fucking.
That was still alive.
I don't think, yeah, I think we handled that boss pretty flawlessly.
The kidnapping won't stop until we get to the root of the evil. Follow me. That not be natural, and the energy flowing into it.
See, this is normally this pack right here, not with lust. We just get it down. I just mainly want the big green guy down. I'd want him focused down, everything else has to be AoE'd. As soon as the big green guy goes down, I'd be pulling the other big green guy and the pack behind him into the mini boss here, and that's what we're doing. But we're gonna do it a little different. We don't have lust. I just want to play it safe because I really wanted this heat. I wanted my 17 Brazil, and I don't want to pull too big and in here and lose some people over it. But yeah, they're not paying attention to those. There's another part where they ignore something, and I even ping it, and they continue to ignore it. But this is alright so far. As So yeah, I've got him. I'm gonna pull this. And so I'm gonna do the mini boss on his own since we don't have the next. I don't think we lose anybody until we get into the mini boss here. We're doing pretty well. We have a paladin, but this is a pain in the ass. Paladin, use freedom. I mean, we don't say this in chat. We just assume he would know this if he's in an 18. I thought about pulling those, but I ended up not. I ended up deciding not to. And then I'd get a bat if I needed it at the end on the bridge. And so yeah, should have freedomed him. We broke him out. Because I've just lost faith. You know, after the first one didn't get freedom for a while, I'm tanking him next to this so that we can break anyone out. Oh, and then we took a death. The priest right there. What was that to? Just in the axe, I think. Yeah. We'll see. Yep. Oh, because he's typing. Because he wants to tell the paladin you can use freedom. Fuck. It's like, see, I didn't bother to type it. Like, it's like I just forget it and then I adjust. Like, do a mechanic, I just try to adjust, and I try to make it easier. Uh-oh. What did we freeze? Uh-oh. Well, hang on. Until we killed the boss to fucking say anything, just like the paladin waited until the boss was dead to say sorry. It's just, I feel like that's a big key killer is people's mouths in this game. Like, I get you want to tell somebody something mid-dungeon, but it's like, we're on a timer. You're gonna die in one hit to a lot of things. You don't need to type, just adjust. You know, I don't know how else to explain it, man. It's like, it's just typing that in the middle of the fight. It's not gonna fix it. Especially where we were in that fight, there wasn't gonna be another capture. They weren't gonna put him on a pedestal fucking again. Like, there was no need to type that until he was dead. Just ignoring those interrupts. So I'm gonna get in there and get him in a second. And I think they let me get hit with like a shadow fucking blast. Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm pulling all this in, and I even pinged him because I want him dead. I want him interrupted. Nope, that's gonna hit me, and that is going to be fucking hurt. And that's gonna hit me again. They're just letting him fucking free cast it on me. So I'm like, okay guys, I pinged him, and you didn't do shit. I'll go get him. Like, see, I knew, like, it was just too soon to go back yet with this damage. This was great damage. They were gonna rip aggro. I knew it was too soon to go back. If I would have left any sooner to get that fucking big tall guy casting on me, I would have lost threat on a lot of those attacks. And so while he's doing his shield this time, I'm gonna get these back up to the group. I wish this druid didn't follow me. I guess it doesn't really matter. Get all these together. Do that. Break some shields. And I do something risky later with these shields, and I cause a few deaths. And 17s, 18s are not the place to practice these things, but I thought I wanted to try it. We had a lot of time, and I wanted to see if we could survive it at this level with something. Something like more deaths. I feel if you handle a lot of this very flawlessly. And instead of getting a bat on the bridge for the little bit of extra percent, I think I end up like bumping into like that spirit guy over there. Yeah, I end up bumping into him, and so he ends up being the little bit of percent that I need. Because normally I just pick up one bat on the bridge as we're running down. That's all the extra points you need on a bat. He did get pulled in a little late, but and he is a caster, so that sucks.
What's this? New souls for my experiments? Your souls keep walking. This affliction.
I love how well they do these boss mechanics. I can't tell you how many times people fuck this up.
Go. Make them suffer.
I am not getting.
From beyond the grave.
I'm not getting sound. I hope you guys are.
Sandakata no shata. Kezuno namraka. Ne.
Weird. Well, I guess the dungeon's gonna be quiet for this video. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, no deaths. We handled this very well. And yeah, here. Okay, so this is where I try something. I'm gonna drop darkness. You see me? You see I literally fucking paused right at a perfect moment. You see me already got my finger on it right here. So I'm gonna drop darkness, and I'm gonna hope that they avoid the damage from the attack, which it's not 100% guaranteed, but I'm hoping that I can drop darkness. And actually, I think it is 100% guaranteed in a dungeon. I think in a raid it's 15%, but I think it says if it's in a dungeon, it's like guaranteed to avoid damage from an attack. So I pop darkness. Granted, it is only an 8-yard radius, so if they're not close enough, maybe that's why they didn't survive. But I'm going to drop darkness, and I'm going to use my racial to remove all the shields, which is going to do a massive amount of damage. But that's why I dropped darkness, hoping that it would have everyone avoid it. So darkness is down. I stun. And now I'm going to pop shields. I think it's just because they were too low of health. Okay, so I'm about to pop it right here. No, I think it was because ranged healer, who's also probably far back. My two guys that are right up here in my darkness What happened? They lived. So okay, so that is a great way to do this pack really quick. I just need to make sure everybody's on me. So we easily survive that at this key level. But I cost us 30 seconds there. Not a big deal. We're going to get through this easy. Um, so we're moving. This is the second pack up here. We just got all the shields broken pretty fucking quick. And I'm going to pull him into it now. Because this is it. This is it for trash. So I like to move him for Soulstorm. So like as soon as I see him cast it, I jump away so that usually he can get really far. And these tornadoes, while we're standing behind his shield, never cross the path of the shield, right? Now I think we're going to take a death to the fucking rock. I think somebody gets hit by one. Oh, we took a 6 death a minute ago. I think to a... Oh, it was to a rock back there. Actually, I remember when it happened. But it was from one of these bouncing down the thing because somebody didn't stand on the wall. They stood in the middle. And I think it was the shaman that was our 6th death to that. But still, not a big deal. We have 5 minutes left. This is the last piece of trash right here. And now, you guys are going to see. I don't know if there's many Vengeance Demon Hunters streaming. Or, well, I'm not even streaming. I'm just recording some of my dungeons. But this boss right here, a Demon Hunter is so great for it. And I'm gonna show you the tech here in a second. I don't believe any other class has the ability to do what I do for this. So we're gonna see fist, and then it's a stomp, and that's when the puddle comes out. And see, I can get it on the wall every time without even having the boss move. So I keep the middle of the floor where all my DPS are, like, completely clean. The boss never moves whenever I fly over there and fly back. So they just get to stay on him the whole time doing damage. I'll help out doing these. Here comes the stomp, and then I'm immediately back. Like, I don't think another class has the tech to do that easy. But I'm sure there's still ways that they keep the floor pretty clean here, especially if they're skilled tanks. Which I don't really see much of the other tanks other than like in the MDI. And that's not realistic to me. That's not what y'all are running into in your pugs whatsoever. You're not doing keys like that. This is a much more realistic key. I solo pug all of my keys. I never join with friends. I just go because most of my friends aren't as good as I am at these. And so it's just I don't play with many of my friends when I'm pushing high keys. I do my 12s and stuff. I do a lot of those with friends, things like that. But whenever I'm pushing these keys, I'm queuing for dungeons solo. And so it's your groups are a box of chocolates. You never know what the fuck you're getting. I was really impressed with this group. Great group. I want to say a lot of the deaths were on me in this dungeon. The priest's first death was mine. 2 deaths on the shield break were me experimenting. Yeah, we're gonna manage to get this done pretty easy right here. I think we kill it before we go into the next ghost phase. I believe we're gonna kill it. I think we have one more before he sends us down to the bottom again. Yeah, there we go. See, that one, not bad, you know? It's like, I don't want to necessarily say there were a lot of mistakes. I did make a couple of mistakes, but there weren't any egregious errors. We finished that with 6 deaths still, and a couple minutes? Yeah, probably with like about 2 minutes left still. 6 deaths, 2 minutes still. Um, Using lusts at an inopportune spot. Um, these keys, there's still a lot of wiggle room. So please, guys, don't vote to abandon at the first fucking error or mistake that's made. That shit's so annoying. It wastes so much time, and if anything, finishing the dungeon at these high key levels, it is practice. It is fucking practice. And let's say you make it through the rest of the dungeon flawlessly and you still don't time it. You know exactly what you're not going to fuck up the next time you run it, because you're going to make sure that that one mistake you made isn't made. You may make a different mistake that could cost it, but you know for sure. And then that's another one that it's like, now that's ingrained into your fucking brain. And it's like, and that's what, like, I don't know if you've looked at my UI. I use LVUI. Other than that, I don't think I have many add-ons, man. Like, what am I running here? Like, I raw dog WoW, and it's like you see everyone has all these add-ons that tell them all this extra shit. You don't need that. Like, I'm over here. I'm one of the best demon hunters in North America, and we're still doing this. I've got Arc HUD, which is the little around my character portrait, my health, and my resource. If you notice that, it's right in the middle of the screen. That's all Arc HUD is. Be quiet keeps the talking heads off of my screen. Cross gambling's just for fun. These I don't even think I have on because I don't see my teammates' cooldown trackers. I don't see when we have battle res or not. That's why I have the battle res item on my hotkey bar, so I can see it there. So I don't even think either of those add-ons are turned on. Pawn just helps me know if what pieces of gear are a little bit better than others as far as stats. It's just like it helps me make quick decisions. And then yeah, of course Raider.io. But yeah, no, dude, I'm not using Mythic Dungeon tools or Method Dungeon tools, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not using a lot of these add-ons that people say make the game easier. It's just like you don't need it. It's like I'm one that I've done. I think maybe 200 keys this season. That's timed. So it's like I've just sit here and I've done it over and over and over and learned it. And it's like I've fucked up over and over again. I was a terrible tank at the start of the fucking season because I didn't watch any videos on any of this. I just like to go in and fucking learn it. But I've got everything down to a fucking T now. I know what my priority interrupts are. I still make mistakes, even knowing it all, being the fucking little encyclopedia I am. But yeah, guys, these keys aren't that tough, even at this level. Let's keep it going.